transition from an old economy to a new economy, from a world in which people were separated by national boundaries and oceans and distances to now a world that is increasingly linked and intertwined. And we're taking these huge leaps technologically, and it's all happening in the span of 10 years, 20 years. And those rapid changes are putting great strains on a lot of our existing social and political institutions. We're seeing a renewed rise in nationalism that goes beyond simply pride in country, but in the past has led to war and conflict. We're seeing people fearful of each other, and we're seeing a splintering of countries that were once more unified. And so I think it is important on all our issues that we're concerned with, whether it's education, climate change, equality, how to grow an economy, how to maintain a sustainable development, migration. It's important to recognize that in all of these issues, we're going to have to train our young people to think differently, to adapt to these new circumstances, and promote a new generation of leaders. One of the things that I learned as President of the United States is that most problems that we face are not technical in nature. Most of the problems we face are human in nature. They have to do with politics and greed and jealousy and conflict and tribalism and all the things that keep us separated and prevent us from thinking rationally and working together. And so it's going to be important, I think, for us to find ways in which we can encourage young people, this next generation of leadership, to think differently about problems and to develop new forms of institutions, new ways of organizing our societies, to react and respond and take control of these sweeping forces that are disrupting so much of our life right now. Now, with respect to education in particular, I do think that in the United States, at least, the way we used to organize education was based on this transition from agriculture to industry. We wanted to take people from farms and send them into factories and office buildings and teach them to sit still and work in their corners and do a lot of repetitive tasks over and over again. And we separated out the higher functions of engineering or physics or brain work from the manual labor that was required. And now we are increasingly in a society where we have to think, we want every young person to learn how to think creatively, learn how to think collaboratively, learn how to solve problems and be able to work in teams. And that requires, I think, new models of education than the ones that we've been using up until now. Now, obviously there's still basics that young people need to learn. But once they get into their teen years, what we're seeing is experiments in experiential learning, in getting young people out and working with practitioners in whatever fields they're interested in. That tends to be something that I think is going to be more and more important because, frankly, if whatever work you're doing is something that a machine can do better, then you're going to have to start doing things differently.